type of technologies are playing a role in the geospatial technology. One component only what we are seeing in the GIS component. Maybe some people may be covering on the remote sensing and then GPS and other thing. Normally, a geographical information system, you can see the definition. You can able to create the data, store the data, analyze the data, display, and then result and report preparation. So every component is already being developed by semi-automatic or automatic or maybe the manual methods, because the data collection component may be in the form of data collection in the field, that is a physical work has to be carried out. But the database which you are creating from the GIS angle, we can say the vector data or raster data or pixel by pixel analysis, all these things are component are coming under programming component. That means what, already they might have prepared the programming, or they might already return the code for this, or you can able to directly purchase the software and then directly use it. That's why we are coming under the how the softwares are, it is a open source or the proprietary software, or sometimes you are nowadays getting online GIS also. As a good example, I can say this normally the Google map, whatever we are seeing, that is one of the examples which we can say. So overall the geospatial, yeah, can you see? Hello?
No, sir,
Can
your
you,
slide is not visible to us.
slide is not, I already shared. Now can you just tell me, are you able to see the slide?
No, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Already
sir. Visible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please continue.
Visible. Visible.
Is it visible?
So actually,
Yes, sir. Kindly proceed. Kindly proceed.
sharing the
What about
screen.
the second slide, please? Second
Yes,
slide,
sir.
geospatial technology. I think maybe,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Visible.
is it visible?
Sir.
Yeah.
Visible.
Maybe some problem
Yeah,
with the signal with the people. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So the basically what we are going to discuss mostly on the how the GIS data can be analyzed or created, and how far we can able to write our own coding, because you see that nowadays cost of the product is also very high for the softwares and other thing. So the component which consisting of geospatial technology, one is the GIS, as I told you, GPS, remote sensing, and then other. But all this technology is input for your geographic information system. How the remote sensing is generating the data, GPS also we are collecting from the information from the field, that we are feeding to the GIS component. That's why normally you used to have hardware, software component. Along with that, you may be having the analysis software. Along with that, nowadays you are having emerging technologies or the advanced technology like LIDAR and then sonar. All these things are playing a role on this. Now, let us go first to this software related what we want to study this one. Generally what open source or the, you can say the proprietary GIS software. Proprietary GIS software is the open source software which kind of the software which can freely used. You can able to change and share the information by anyone. For example, you yourself can able to develop your own GIS according to your objectives. But you have certain norms, regulation, rules which has to be followed for the open resource source softwares in the GIS angle.
Not visible.
I am talking about, yeah.
PPT not visible.
Yeah, please. PPT is not visible. Can you please check it again?
Sir, visible, sir. It's a
Maybe
problem
some
with
people,
the participant.
okay. So some people, I think they might be able to see that. It seems maybe the signal problem, anything. I don't know. Now I am just talking about the proprietary GIS software. Is it okay? The slide is visible.
Yes, sir.
The
Yes,
slide
sir.
is visible now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, okay. So now first one is what the definition. What just we are talking about this. It's a kind of software which can be freely used. That means you need not pay money for this. You can directly take the software which is already freely available. You can able to modify according to your objective or the wish, because it is not a commercial terms in that. So freely you can able to use. You can able to change the code according to your need. That's why normally we'll be discussing on customization also. You can able to share in a modified or unmodified form to anybody. For example, tomorrow you are going to study about the quantum GIS or QGIS. Normally we used to tell anybody can able to download, use it in your lab and do various analysis. And according to your objective also, you can able to create lot of databases and analysis. Generally, the open source software is made by many people. That's why I'm telling. We are also working for the seismic information system and the landslide information system. Like that, we are developing our own, because every time you need not go for the purchase of the software and do the analysis. Of course, you have some advantages and disadvantages in both the aspects are there. But here, in general principle, the open source software is made by the many people and distributed under the license that comply with the definitions of. That is very, very important what we are going to study. That is open source definitions. Before going to that, I want to just tell you a few things. What is the reason to select the open source softwares? Generally, the open source software price tag is clearly important. That is very, very important, right? Price is so high, so you have to go for the freely available. We can able to little bit customize it and then use it for our purpose. So the pricing tag is clearly important driver for open source softwares. So generally, the OSS is practically cheaper than the commercial one. If you are going for the maybe 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs, or 20 lakhs, depending upon the number of modules which you are going to study. So in the open source, first one is the price. Second is that the accessibility to the source code is very, very easy in the open source domain. You cannot be able to use it for the already commercially available softwares and other thing. You cannot be able to get and cannot be able to modify that one. So the component which is related to the open source GIS software is number one as to price. Second is source code access. Third is community code review. Then you can able to see that how far you can able to customize according to your wish. Every time you should not go for the vendor to give, because you have to pay the additional fee for the additional modules and then go for your analysis. So to minimize that cost and then other significance, we are going for the open source software, GIS proprietary softwares. Now, the next one, if you go, yeah, I'll just click, yeah. You can see that normally it's a definition which is coming from the National Geographic Information that I already given the source of the slide. The open source software is a computer software that is available in source code form under certain licenses. That means what you may be getting, whatever quantum GIS also, when you are doing, you can able to get the license information. Using that open source you are permitted to use, copy, study, change, improve, and even redistribute those OSS freely. So that's why you are going for the open source software. So for example, I am developing a seismic information system. You can able to go for your water resource information system or building information system. Any of the things you can able to have, you can use, you can copy, you can able to study and change as per your need. So another very important, that means nowadays what free means entirely different. That means what free does not mean free of charge, but freedom and then liberty, very, very important. So this is very, very important. You can have the liberty to change. Okay, on the basis of that, you can able to create your own database analysis and the system. If you see this diagram, overall, if you see that one, it's a freedom of the software, freedom of the redistribution, freedom of modification, copy, and then you can able to use it. Maybe tomorrow when you are going to work for the quantum GIS and other thing, it may be very clear for you how far you can able to customize the existing software which is freely available according to your objective. So that's why it is permitted to use, copy, study, change, improve, even redistribute those OSS freely to the users. That is the main purpose. That is the freedom and liberty. These two is very, very important. Now, in the previous slide, I shown you, you have certain conditions. What is that condition we want to just get? That means open source does not just mean access to the source code. So what are the components are there inside that one? Which criteria you have to follow? That's why they used to call that free software guidelines is already available. We have to follow strictly with the Debian free software guideline when you are executing any kind of open source softwares. So what are the criteria? I have just listed it. Free distribution, derived work, integrity of author's source code. That means what somebody is developing, you have to give the author how he has developed. You have to have the information or the integrity which should be there. No discrimination against the persons or the group. There is not necessary, because you can have your own way of writing the code and executing this, but it should not go against the person or a group of people already you has developed. No discrimination against the fields of endeavor, which are all the fields which people are working, and distribution of their licenses. Freely it may be available to the people who are into that. then it should not be a specific to a product. Maybe anybody can able to see and then modify according to the wishes. So similarly, you can have many conditions are there when you are going for the open source software. You have to comply with this various criteria. So basically, if you want to further read any material related to this, I have the last line I have given which where from it is derived. That is Debian Free Software Guidelines, DFHG. Please go through it. You will get lot of informations on the basis of that. Okay, so we will go to the next one. One by one, we want to just see that. What is meant by the free redistributions? As I told you, it is a freedom and then liberty to use the software and then code which is available. You can able to access and go through and then modify, change according to your objectives. So the license should not restrict any party from selling or giving away the software as a component of an aggregated software distribution. That is very, very important. For example, Quantum GIS, they have already developed. I am interested to go for land information system or cadastral information system, whatever may be the application. I can able to use those tools and then the programming language which can able to modify according to LIS or the whatever the cadastral information, whatever. So an aggregate of the software distribution containing the program from several different sources. That is why it's coming under the free distribution. That is the number one. As I told you, you have 10 to 11 different type of conditions which you have to follow when you are going for the open source softwares. Okay. The license should not require any royalty or other fee for such sales. So that is very, very important. So the free distribution, which is the first criteria. What is the second one is source code. Normally, if the source code is available with you, you can able to modify as per your wish and then change. For example, I want to change the display as per my wish. Yes, definitely how I can able to customize it, should use the open source software according to my objective. So in the second condition is what? The program must include source code and it should allow the distribution in the code as well as compiled form. That means what? That's why Open Geospatial Consortium is there in our GIS. Okay, in India, we are also having Global Geospatial Consortium, which is also there. That is interoperability of the different type of products, which is coming from different type of GIS software also. Interoperability generally what means, for example, you are doing with ArcGIS, I am using it in Eridas, or somebody may be using the MapInfo. It should have the compatibility so that people can able to distribute it. So the program must include source code and it should allow distribution of the source code as well as compiled form. Because maybe your first lecture may be introductory to the GIS and other thing. I am little bit going inside what it is doing, what all the programming components are there, how I can able to modify. That is why we are coming for this lecture. So some of the products are not distributed with the source code. There must be a well publicized means of obtaining the source code. That means what? Even some of the things, equations when we are developing also, previously already published equation also we will be modifying. The weightage has to be given to the authors. We will be modifying and then accordingly we will be going for our analysis of the data. So that's why it is coming under well publicized means of obtaining the source code for no more than a reasonable reproduction cost, and preferably you can able to directly download in the internet without the charges. That means even good example, this one Grass, or you can go for the Quantum GIS. Normally we are using Google Maps. Probably you know that everybody started using that one. Okay. The third point in the source code is it must be preferred form in which the programmer would modify the program. Very, very important. That means if I have the Quantum GIS, I am able to change the program code according to my objective, and then I can able to use it for this. So these are all some of the information related to the source code. Now, derived works. What is meant by derived works? Now, the third component is the derived works. That means the license must allow. See, even though we are freely getting the informations, some of the restrictions may be there. In what way? That means you can able to modify, because the license is very, very important. Okay, freely they are giving. For example, I have attended one program with the University of Davis, Health Informatics. They have developed the customized software for health related informations. So the doctor can able to easily access the data and identify. But as a GIS person, we may not be knowing the lot of technical terms related to the medicine. Now what we are doing, we are customizing according to your objective, name of the diseases, accordingly what all the data is to be collected, like that we are going for that. Okay, so the derived work means the license must allow the modification, and derived work then must allow them to distribute under the same terms as the license agreement of the original softwares. So health information system or health informatics, you can able to create it using the whatever the platform freely available, you can able to use it, or the JS software you can able to use it. So in this case, you should have the derived work. Then integrity of author source code is very, very important. Normally any software, oh, okay, you can use this patchword, you can able to rectify the problem like that. Normally we used to tell, even for our normal mobile application, you are also using this, lot of patch files are there. So that means what? The license may restrict the source code for being the distributed in the modified only if the license allow the distribution of patch files. That means what? Source code is already available, you are also using the patch file, you are modifying to build the timing. So that means what? I am interested to develop a patch file which can be associated with the author source code, then it can be used very well. Okay, right. Next is what? The third one is the license must explicitly permit the distribution of the software built from modified source code. Means normally what will happen, for example, I am as I told you, I am developing a seismic Infosys. That means what? After doing the modification or the requirement, I can able to customize according to the information system. For example, who are all the user, I can able to freely distribute them also. Okay, so that means your job is what we are doing. You are doing the programming in such a way, or existing code you can able to use it and then go for next level. What is the advancement in taking place? Accordingly looking for the modifications in the softwares. Okay, right. Now the next one is the no discrimination against the persons or the group. The license must not discriminate against any persons or the group of persons. This already I discussed with you, because somebody might have developed it, you can able to use it, you have the liberty and the freedom to use it, but it should not go the discrimination to any person or the group of persons. This already we discussed. Similarly, field, what is meant by this one? Restrict anyone from making use of the program in a specified field of endeavor. That means what? I am a GIS person, I am interested to go for developing a land information system. It should not be restricted by the discrimination should not be done in that case. So it may not restrict the program from being used in a business or from being used for the genetically research actually. So those things are coming under no discrimination against field of endeavor. Now we will go for, these are a little bit theoretically I want to give. After that we will go for our customized tool development in this. So the rights attached to the program must apply to all whom the program is redistributed without the need for execution of an additional license by other party. That means what? We ourselves are developing that which can apply to all to whom the program is redistributed. I already prepared, I am just giving to that college, and then need for the execution and additional license by those parties. So that's coming under the distribution of licenses. Means all these things, why I am just giving you glimpses only. Details are there, as I told you, one link already I given in the PPT. Please go through it, lot of ideas you may be getting, and then you can able to create your own databases, or you can able to customize the software according to your wishes. Because you can see the commercial softwares, if you go in several lakhs which you are have to spend for this one. Especially academic and R&D, you require 1,000 license or 500 people are working in the field, you cannot go on that one. So now if you have your own way of customized software, it may be highly useful. So its license must not be specific to the product. What is meant by this? Depending upon the programs being a part of a particular software distributions. I am developing a seismic Infosys for Sikkim area, or urban information system for Pondicherry region. I can able to create my POND, Pondicherry, just something like that. I can able to develop and give it to the planners and then executors. Then if the program is extracted from the distribution used or distributed within the terms of programmer's license, then all parties to whom the program is redistributed should have the same rights. That's why I'm telling. That's why it is coming under open source. It's not a commercial term. It is a open source. So everybody will be having the rights to use it, and then it can be redistributed. Okay, right. Now I will go to the next company. You have 10 to 11 conditions are there. Only few only I am just discussing, so that we will not go much detail into that, because it may be very well understood after you are go through the Quantum.js, the open source software. When you are doing the practical, if you want to customize it, the software, then you can able to go through the regulations. Okay, the license must not restrict other softwares. Yeah, it's very important. Must not place the restrictions on other software. That means you require this one, then only you can able to do like that. It should not come. And then the license must not insist that all other program distributed in the same medium must be open source software. So you can able to link with the two different type of open source softwares. Now, no provision of the license may be predicated on any individual technology style of intro. That means it should be very neutral. It should not be, for example, I am developing X, you are developing Y. So it should not have any type of the contradiction to that. It should be a neutral. So that's why I am giving the references and then further reading. Please go through this if you are interested to go how the open source definition is origin, how you can able to create your own way of software. So DFSG, you can able to just type it, you will get all the information just now, whatever I have discussed. Okay. Now I will go to the difference between the proprietary and then open source softwares. So open source softwares, I probably many of you might be using that Linux and other thing, OpenOffice, all these things, right? Generally, proprietary softwares, normally Windows, Vista, Microsoft Word, or 2013, 20, everything has come, Adobe Photoshop, all these things are coming under proprietary software. Open source software is the Linux. So normally we are all using in that actually. So we are purchasing with its source, so you can able to modify according to your wish. What is the second difference between the two is user can get open software for free of charge. That is very important. Even some of the software which you are purchasing, they will be telling up to 10 years you can able to give all the patches free. Normally they used to tell. So the purpose is what? That means what? You can able to keep on update the information. Only one time only you are going for the purchase along with the source code. But in your proprietary software, you will purchase the software, but without any source code. You cannot able to touch, you cannot able to modify. But you can able to create relevant to that. If you want, you can able to use it as a patch with that software. But that cannot be taken as a open source softwares. That is the first difference. Second is the user can get open software for free of charge, but you have to pay to get the proprietary software. That means what? I want to buy one software related to GIS, I have to pay 10 lakhs or 20 lakhs or whatever, depending upon number of licenses you are purchasing for that. But in the open source, what will happen? Every individual system you can put, individually you can able to write coding, you can able to execute, you can able to modify, everything you can able to do it. So the third point in this is users can modify the software. Just now in our Earthquake Excel, we developed using the Quantum.js also we developed using the codes. I will be showing some of the examples how I can able to customize according to my wish. Even you can able to create linguistic based customization also you can able to do it. That means you can have your own language or icon, all these things you can. So users can modify the software. Users cannot modify the software in the proprietary softwares. You can take it Windows or Microsoft or ArcGIS or MapInfo. You can able to take any kind of the software. Because since this why I am showing this slide, everybody we are using Windows, everybody we are also using the Linux. You may be knowing the differences. Next, the fourth difference is users can install the software freely into any computer. Yes, sometimes what will happen nowadays, the computer which you are using, the serial number it is considering, and then accordingly the license is applied. When you are changing, then again you have to write to the vendor, right? So that he will be reconfiguring for the system. That's why another problem which we are facing with the proprietary softwares also. But here what will happen, tomorrow if you are having the Quantum.js or any free open source software, you can able to put any number of this one system, you can able to modify according to your wishes. So users can install the software freely into any computer. But in the proprietary, user must have a license from the vendor who is supplying the software before install into your computer. Normally, after paying, they will be sending the soft key. Using the soft key, we will be installing the software. Then through the internet, it will go and then check the authenticity. Then only it is allowing for us to execute it. Now, no one is responsible to the software. Yes, I can able to create, as I told you, health information system or earthquake information system, urban anything I can able to say. So this reform will is the software, but it is full support from the vendor if anything is happened to the software. Yes, this is another problem. For example, anything crash or something like that, again the proprietary software you have to call only the vendor to rectify the problem. After that, you are going for maybe sometimes you happen to pay for that also. This is also happens sometimes. So if you go through the open source and then proprietary softwares, these are all some of the advantages. Maybe one or two disadvantages are also there in that we'll see little later to that. Okay, right. Next, a simple example which I want to just highlight, it is related to tomorrow what you are going to study, quantum GIS or the GRASS or whatever may be. An open source application by definition is the software you can freely access and modify the source code. Very simple definition we can able to give. That means you can able to freely access and modify the source code. Normally popular the C-based open source GIS software application, which includes one is GRASS, another is quantum GIS. So the quantum GIS, I think every institute nowadays they are having quantum GIS. People are getting trained in that. So our interest is what you can able to freely access and also modify the source code. Right. This is the basic definition when we go for the GIS angle. Right. So it's just like an icon which I would like to show you that what are all the open sources on the other side, that is quantum GIS, SIG, Saga, all these things. On your right side, you can see MapInfo, ESRI or Global Mapper or GeoMedia. Anyway, I'll be just giving you some glimpses of different type of softwares available in the open source platform as well as the proprietary or online GIS. Okay, right. We will go to the next one. This is another example, proprietary GIS software, ESRI, RGIS or Idrisi, whatever you can say. Similarly, you can have quantum GIS, Saga, ILVIS, ITC Netherlands has developed this one, ILVIS and GDAL. Many number of softwares are there. I'll be just giving you listing of the same maybe after one or two slides actually. Now we are going to discuss about the list of open source softwares. Actually, okay, are you able to see this slide? All of you? Hello, all of you? Are you able to see this slide? List of open source GIS software. Okay, okay, right. Then I can able to proceed with this. Yeah, first one is the quantum GIS. What is the quantum GIS? It's a free as well as the open source geographic information system. You can able to create, modify, visualize, analyze, right? The data on Windows, Mac, Linux, BSD, and then Android applications. See, normally, what is the spatial data? Maybe morning he might have covered. You know what is the spatial data? Basically, we are having two different type of database. One is spatial data, another is non-spatial data. So spatial data means with reference to the locational informations or geocoding. So that means what? Geocoding means, that means you can able to give latitudes and then longitude. Latitudes and longitude if you are giving for the feature, that is coming under spatial data. For example, I want to represent a road, I can represent as a line feature. In case if I am going for road junctions, I want to represent, that is the point features. That means you may be having one latitudes and the longitude, that is the point feature. The line, when you are going for minimum, you require 2 points which connect a line. So the spatial data is a road line feature. Point is the road junction. Polygon is more than 3 lines or 2 lines. That means a covered area, I can say. So you have spatial data and non-spatial data which you can able to create, you can able to modify, you can able to visualize, as well as you can able to analyze. So this is basically a good open source GIS software, quantum GIS, which you can able to do many functions of a GIS. Basic definition what we are seeing in GIS is to create, modify, visualize, analyze, database and layer creation. Everything you can able to do in the quantum GIS. That is the first one is the quantum GIS. Second is what? GRASS. So the GRASS GIS is a hybrid. It's a modular geographic information system software with grid and vector oriented functions. So now that's why I'm telling you may be having a small restrictions may be there in the software. Number one is some software can do only raster based processing. What is raster based processing? Means pixel by pixel you are going to analyze. Good example I can say satellite data. So the satellite data you can able to directly use it for raster GIS. I want to identify land use land cover changes or urban changes, urban sprawl mapping. Directly you can also use raster data, that is many multiple years of satellite data you put together. You have the change reduction algorithms are already available. You can able to directly get the information how much of changes it is taking place in 10 years or 15 years. So the GRASS GIS, like why I'm just telling this example, every software will be having some functionalities may be different from one to other. So the first one, quantum GIS, you can able to analyze any kind of spatial data. Second is a hybrid, which may be a GIS software, but with a grid and then vector oriented functions. Now, third one is software for augmented geoscientific analysis, SAGA. Okay, software for augmented then geoscientific analysis. It's mainly developed in the Geography Department of University of Hamburg. This is also again a open source functions. Same way, which kind of programming languages you are also using, that is also very important. For example, you are using a Java based open source GIS, mean that is coming under OpenJump or Jump GIS. Means you can also create your own way of creating a data. As I told you, I have used my quantum GIS or any other software, create seismic Infosys. For example, I developed for Andaman seismic info, so AND Infosys. Recently, we published the paper also in that one. That means you can able to modify. For example, today I have given the software, maybe after some days, you can able to update the information, create new kind of analysis, for which you can write your own code. Okay, so which platform we have used, that is also very important. So the Jump GIS is Java based. Next is what? Geoda. Geoda is a free and open source GIS software. It serves as the introduction to geodata analysis. So as I told you, every software open source in the case, okay, you have some of the functionalities may be very good, some of the functionalities may not be there. That is also we have to see that. Okay, right. Here I am just showing which are all the, just now what I have shown you, discussed just now is Quantum GIS, Map Server, GDAL, GeoTool, GeoServer. All these things are coming under free open source software for geospatial analysis. So GeoFast, geospatial, free open source softwares. So maybe you will get a lot of materials related to that when you are going for Open Geospatial Consortium. Okay, so you can able to use this on the basis of the purpose which you are going to develop. For example, street network you are interested, or you want to develop a GeoTools, PostGIS. These are all coming under the open source GIS. Just only few example I am just showing here. The continuation of the same open source, you have other open source GIS, near about 25 to 30 softwares are there. I'm not discussing about all the things because the time is very less, so we have to go only few I want to just give you. Now GVSIG, that is the open source desktop, online and mobile GIS. That means we will be discussing about online GIS also. That means what? You can able to create the entire database in the online, do analysis. You don't require even to save into your software into the system. That is also you can able to do it. Then MapMaker Pro. This is aimed at the specialist who needed to create the maps. That's why I'm telling you, na, according to your objective, you can able to create. I told you I am interested in seismology. I am interested in disaster management. DIMS, I can able to create one software. Disaster management system. Same way, you can have the MapMaker Pro is developed for the purpose of foresters and archaeologists and medical emergency services. So you cannot able to create the geological database, something like that in that. If you want to create, please customize it according to your informations. For example, structural engineering people, they are interested to study about the changes in the seismic resistant structures. For example, in case if they are creating different type of building they want to study, show in the spatial form, then you can go for your own way of customizing this. So the MapMaker is also one of the open source software which is highly useful for forestry, agriculture, and then emergency services. Another one is Diva GIS, a free GIS for mapping and analyzing geographic data. It means the functionality will be varying from one to another aspects. So, depending upon what purpose you are going to study, accordingly you'll be doing. Next is what? Terra Library. So, it is also a open source software for the library, which supports the development of custom geographic applications. That's for example, I tell you, just what you call urban infosys. I am developing that one. I can able to customize what are all the parameters related to the urban. You can able to add into that. You can able to analyze it. That means the source code, if it is given to you, you can able to modify. I am just giving the file name as urban info. You can able to go for earthquake info or flood info. So accordingly, the file has to be generated in the GIS. After that, you can give us the input. Same way, you are also having modeling. The focus is on numerical simulation in water management and ecology. So that means every university or the institution or the corporate or the sector which are developing their own way of customized GIS software or open source based GIS softwares. So here the focus is for modeling. See, right from the beginning, if you see, you can able to create, analyze everything into the quantum GIS. Somebody is working only for forestry archaeology. Accordingly, they customize the softwares. Then same way you can go for modeling. Prediction models are also there nowadays, which you can able. So in this case, the numerical simulation model for water management and then ecology is developed by the people. That is Calypso. Okay, that is the software name. This one is a short terms of all the OpenGIS softwares. Now, Orbis GIS is a cross-platform open source GIS developed by and for the research. That means, as I told you, Global Geospatial Consortium is also there, GSDI, NSDA, National Spatial Database Infrastructure, in which interoperability of the data product. That is also very important. You are developing something in your MapInfo. I want to bring it to ArcInfo. Yes, you should have the interoperability. Then only you can able to use it. You cannot expect the same software has to be used by every people. You cannot say different type of softwares are available across the platform. Also, you can able to use it. So it is one of the Orbis GIS is the cross-platform open source GIS developed by and for the research work. Next, OSGIS is the GIS for analyzing and displaying the spatial statistics. That's very, very important. See, in RGIS, for example, is a commercial software. If you study, what will happen? You have different type of model. 10 to 15 modules are available for specific purposes. One is for what? ArcMap, ArcAtlac, okay, ArcSDE, okay, spatial data engine. So like that, your family, I can say the RGIS family having different type of models which you can able to analyze it. Here, each and every open source, if you see, go through the list actually, a lot of software is with reference to specific applications. See, OSGIS is what? It is displaying the statistics. Similarly, Falcon View. Same way, ILVIS is very, very important. Even we have used a lot in our, when we are doing the MTech or till now, we are also using the same. That is integrated land and water information developed. It's a desktop-based GIS and the remote sensing software. That's why again we are giving some software only to specific to GIS database creation, analysis, spatial data. Some software is useful for both the GIS analysis as well as remote sensing analysis also. For example, image processing. I want to analyze. Yes, I can able to use it. Okay, so that you are creating a database from the remote sensing data. Before you are giving input to GIS, you have to rectify many number of error into that. After that, you can able to use it. So the ILVIS is one of the best software which we have also used in the GIS and remote sensing analysis. It is developed by ITC Netherlands. Probably who are already working in the GIS field may know very well about this. Okay, next is what? Map Window GIS. So this is also a open source GIS application used for organizations around the world. Many number of organizations which we are using. The same way, it is not too specific for one forestry or archaeology or geology, not like that. It can be used by any people into that. Okay. Now, another one or two, just I want to give some glimpses on this. It is also the white box GAT is also another tool. It's a platform, geospatial information system and remote sensing software packages. So you can able to directly use it for both the software, both the remote sensing process data as well as the GIS. Same way is you require anywhere if you require now 3-dimension model creations. Normally you have 3D analyst, spatial analyst, all these things are there in the what you call the commercial softwares. So here the Capybara is a 3D world viewer. You can also see, you can able to create Google, probably everybody we are using, you are able to get the 3D views. Then generic mapping tool is the collection of free software for creating geological and geographical maps and then diagrams. So you cannot able to put the related to whatever the health information system or something like that into that. This is the only the mapping tools. That's why I'm telling. One is the mapping tool, another is for the analysis tool, third is the processing tool, and maybe you can go for the corrections. You want to make it, you can have the tool. So the open source GIS software, you have many number of lists has been given here, just to know about what software, what application directly you can use it for that. Okay, that's why I'm just giving the glimpses. I will give you the link for I already lost. I'm giving you the link which are all the softwares which you are going to for this. Okay, okay. Shall we go to the next one? Hello, hello.
Sir, yes,
Hello.
sir.
Yeah, can we go
Yes,
to the next one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, actually, till now, whatever we have seen is the open source software. Some of the things I want to just cover for the proprietary software. Normally, every academic institute, maybe few license will be there with us, right? Not much actually. Few license will be there because every software is so costly also. And also every time you want to go for updation is also we have to pay. So one of the very big, what they call the ESRI family, that's of the RGS family or RGS suite like that we used to tell. So Environmental System Research Institute US has developed this one. It's a commercial software or the proprietary software. So it's a generic term for various GIS software products. So generally RGS consisting of what? As I told you, ArcMap, ArcAtlac, ArcSD, ArcTIN, okay, spatial analyst, 3D analyst, many things are coming into that. That just I'm telling you only one line only we have seen, but big list is there with reference to ArcGIS and then ArcView or the ArcMap. The next one is the AutoCAD or the map you are making the 3D. Autodesk product, mostly our AutoCAD, almost all the civil engineering department we are also having, because maybe the second year students are trained very well in the AutoCAD, in which again you are going for 3-dimensional model creations. That means how again you can able to link this AutoCAD with your GIS software later, means you can able to generate the database in AutoCAD, you can bring it to the GIS platform, go for the analysis of your data, so that you don't require sometimes what like one software can do 2-3 jobs. Image processing also you can do as well as the GIS analysis. So this is AutoCAD. Normally we are all using this one. Another is the AquaGIS, the software for modeling environmental and water resources. That means too specific for. That's why Aqua EO, that is environmental. Aqua means water as well as environmental related problems which you can able to address. Bentley is a very big again software. We can do any kind of, especially the civil engineering aspects, many number of 3-dimensional model planning, everything we can able to use it. And another is CADCraft GIS and web mapping software, which are the products for creation, analysis, data management of geodata. So normally geodata is very important. This is locational based information is very, very important when you are going for geodata analysis. After that, you are also having the Dragon and then ENVI, Environmental System Visualization, that is called. Okay, the ENVI, basically it shows as a image processing software, but you can also do many kind of GIS related work in the software. Okay, the ENVI, image analysis of the environmental system visualization, is used by the experts of remote sensing scientists and image analysis. That means you are taking the, as I told you in the first slide, probably you might remember, geospatial technology consisting of GIS, GPS and remote sensing I told you. So remote sensing, for example, you are getting the satellite data. The satellite data, before giving as an input to GIS, you have to correct the data. That means what? There are a lot of problems due to atmosphere or radiometry or the sunlight, all these things are there. You have to remove the error, then you have to give as the input to the GIS software. So the environmental system visualization, just now what I told, it is the software which you can able to go for image analysis. Again, another word related to GIS, I will tell you, it is raster based image data which you are giving as an input for GIS. So the information from the images to help the maker better decisions. So image processing, you are removing the error or you are correcting the error. After that, you are getting the data input. Normally, Any GIS cycle, if you see data input, data analysis, data output, layout, report preparations. That's why normally used to tell when the data input is not correct, whatever you do big thing in the GIS, sometimes it leads to wrong result because garbage in, garbage out in the GIS database. So you should give the correct, I can say, correct input to the GIS, then you will get excellent good results. In case any wrong data input is there, GIS may not be knowing what the data it is correct or not. Okay, it will give you wrong estimate. So that's why you have to. So if you want to go for the better decision or the DSS when you are creating, your data input should be perfect. Another software is very good is the ERDAS imaging. Nowadays all the softwares are merged together and they're forming what you call hexagon and other things have come. So again, ERDAS imaging is a very good software for your remote sensing data analysis, especially the graphics and photos. Satellite images analysis, if you want to go for, then ERDAS imaging is also one of the software for pre-processing, post-processing analysis. Pre-processing means you are correcting all the errors which is available in the satellite data, because at the time of taking the image, the satellite is having rotational, earth rotation will create some problem, atmospheric condition will create some problem, maybe the speed of the satellite is also created. That's why you are going for pre-processing of the data before you are giving as an input to the GIS. So you are removing the error at the time of pre-processing. After processing and after pre-processing, if the errors are rectified, then you are going for image processing of post. That means what? You can go for enhancement technique, contrast enhancement, edge enhancement, whatever may be, different type of principal component analysis. Those are all purely, I can say, a program based or a program which is written to rectify or analyze the data of satellite. So in this one, ERDAS is also Earth Resource Data Analysis System is the software for evaluating the remote sensing data to remove the error and also to process the data. This is also one of the input for your either RGS you are going for or quantum GIS, whatever you are going to use it. Image processing software is one of the software is ERDAS imaging. Then field map. Again, it is a proprietary integrated tool for programmatic field data acquisition of your monitoring systems. That means what? It is used for mapping the forest ecosystem and for data collection during field analysis. That means directly you can able to map in the field itself. Actually, when we are in the, I was in the GIS Institute, DING, we have carried out mobile mapping. That means what? Whenever you are able to go by the vehicle, you can able to map. So nowadays, even you can see in our driving, when you are going, you can also have the road map automatically generated if you are giving the GPS open. Okay, automatically we can able to create a database in that. So monitoring and then mapping solutions. That means especially for forest ecosystem and dual analysis. So here, at the time of taking the field data collection, you can able to create the map. Normally, we used to have that pumped up those days. Nowadays, you are also having everything is mobile based. Even Android mobiles, you are also having mobile mapping softwares are already available. You can also able to customize the software and put it in the this one, what the mobile what we are having. Next is the golden software. I hope everybody, you people are using. That is a Surfer. It's an excellent software. Initially, everybody we started using for 3D visualization. That is very important. The same 3D visualization is there in ArcGIS or ERDAS or Quantum GIS, any kind of software. That the beginning, the Surfer was one of the best software at that time for mapping and adoption for the support of geodata, especially the LiDAR data analysis. The same telling one of the one of the advancing in the remote sensing is the LiDAR image processing. Same way, you can able to create 3D visualizations. How I can able to 3D. So when you can able to 3D create, you should have X, Y as well as the Z. That means what? You should know latitude, longitude of your point, and Z is the elevation point. But the same Z in the satellite image is the digital numbers. Here the 3D which we are creating may be on the basis of the elevation or Z value whatever. For example, I'm creating a contour on sodium component in the water, or I can say the calcium component in the water. I can also create 3D visualization with reference to what? With reference to the spatial location of the particular point, with reference to that, what is the calcium or sodium, then I can able to go for spatial interpolation technique, which you can able to create a 2D, then you will go for the 3D model. So Surfer or the map viewer, these are all some of the proprietary, means some of the functions are there. It is not fully GIS, I can say. some of the functions are there which you can able to create a database. That geodata format you can bring it to GIS. So as well as this can able calculate the volume, distance, and area calculation. These are all some of the examples only which I can able to give you. That is a golden software. Next is the Intergraph, that is a GeoMedia. So nowadays what will happen? Many number of softwares are merging together. It is forming a combined one. So it is a software product from the desktop GIS as well as the web GIS, and mainly aimed at municipalities. See, normally what GeoMedia does, it is purely a GIS software. You can have the integration of remote sensing data, one component into that. As I told you, ERDA's initially for digital image processing, the best for aerial remote sensing, satellite remote sensing data using the radars or data analysis. You have separate module. Like that, you have different type of modules are there. Similarly, the GeoMedia is the GIS software. So that's why I'm telling many number of software has come together and to form the new one. Okay. Next is the MapInfo. I hope many of the remote sensing or GIS related people may be working in that one. MapInfo Professional is the geographic information software. Again, the MapInfo Corporation. How we are talking about the ESRI software, the same way we are also having the MapInfo, which we have using that. Okay. Now, the last component in this is online GIS. Yes. Online also very important. What you are directly you can able to visualize, finish your job. That means Bing Map or the Google Map. Normally these things we every time we are also using. What is the Bing Map? Online map service from the Microsoft through which various spatial data can be viewed. Very important. So you can able to view. You can also have some spatial services we can able to use, but you cannot expect all the GIS function you can able to use in the Bing Map or the Google Map. Sometimes what will happen? Maybe your view, if it is it's not exactly correct, the elevation differences you can able to see in the even the Google Map or Bing Map. That's why the basic difference between a real time the GIS software and then other softwares. But visualization, I think you can able to use it for the Bing Map. Okay, so you can able to spatial services can able to use it, and the virtual earth or the you can able to see from the Bing search engine. You can able to be a part of this. So Bing Map or the Google Map is also a online map services. Okay, now with Google, I think everybody we are using the Google. You can able to get the multi-data satellite images already there, and selected area aerial photos are there, and the locational informations are there. Lot of informations are available in the Google Map. Again, it is working under the GIS concept only. Otherwise, how you can able to calculate the distance between the 2 points, shortest route, all these things are basically from the GIS. Now, it was earlier is the Google, then Google Maps has come, and then we started working on this. Next is we can go for the NASA Worldwind database. So this is also enable the satellite in air to be displayed on virtual globe combined with elevation data. Very, very important. Because elevation data, normally when we are going for elevation, either you have to use it for what you call, we go to the field, collect with the GPS and other thing, or you have to go for the Survey of India topo sheets or anything, then you can able to get it. Similarly, the NASA, which we are the worldwide, the virtual globe combined with elevation data, and you can able to zoom in any part of the world in the 3D graphics. So that means what has happened, whatever area days we have carried out by the field, using the remote sensing and aerial data or the available remote sensing data or high resolution data, you can able to bring everything into this platform. You can able to visualize in any part of the globe. So that is the NASA Worldwind. And then OpenStreetMap, it is also the free project. It can able to collect the freely usable geodata. The same thing. Just now, I have completed one program with the University of Davis, Health Informatics. Completely, they have given it is a open source software, which you can able to enter your data, see the solution for that. Maybe if the doctors are there, they will put all the relevant data about the patient's record and other thing. He will get the spatially how it looks like. So that health informatics, as I told you, is also openly they are giving the data which you can able to collect and then analysis. So similarly, the OpenStreetMap, then Wikimapia, I did not explain. Everybody almost we started using that. The Wikimapia is a web interface which combines the map with a restricted wiki system without hypertext function. Generally, it allows the user to add information in the form of note to any position on the earth. You cannot able, that's what I'm telling. These things you cannot able to modify as per your wish. You can able to collect the information, use it for your purpose, then you can write your own coding and your open source software so that you can able to use it. So many number of things are there. Just I have given you the references and then further reading material. One, I discussed about the open software. Second, I talked about the open source. After that, we are going for the proprietary softwares. Third, we are going for the online GIS. So according to your objective, you have to choose which may be the best one for your objective. Accordingly, you can able to create it. Generally, as I told you, the open source, the software, as I told you, it is a costly affairs. Number one, you cannot be able to get the source code. Number third, you can able to use it only as per the whatever the model they have given, only you can use it. But if you want to go for developing a new model, you have to ask them. They will do it for you and then they will give it to you. So it is all chargeable. Okay. So normally in the quality, when we are talking about this one, each and every software is having some advantages and some disadvantages. All the functions may not be available in all open source GIS softwares. That is sometimes it may be a small negative things I can say. But what I am interested on urban information, so I will customize according to my wish and then finish my job. It is not necessary the urban information should be related to geological information or not. So that is also some of the one or two disadvantages are there. You can see the pros and cons of open source reporting software. So this I have just downloaded. Highly customizable, saves your money upfront. Some come with no cost. So these are all the plus point. What is the negative point? A team of developers is very, very important. Somebody may be good in Java, somebody may be good in .NET or Python or whatever may be the coding. And then it is important to have a teamwork. Everybody has to develop. Finally, you have to come together and then join this. Then competition for talent and maybe the drain on the resources. And then you may have less intuitive user interface than other options. So that's why I'm telling you, when I am going for customizing or developing my own or using the existing open source software, now I should have a good teamwork for developing. That means you require means the proprietary software or I can say the commercial software, many number of people are working for individual domain, finally put together to form a commercial software. But here what will happen? Sometimes even though it is less cost and other thing with no cost we can say, but you require a lot of teamwork on this. So these are all some of the disadvantages of this one. Okay, right. So any clarifications in this? After that, we will go for the next component of my lecture. Actually, is there any clarification in this? Hello, any clarification in this? Now I'm just stop this PPT. Maybe we can have some discussions. Able to understand what are the three different type of these things? First one, as I told you, one is generally we are going for the open source software. Second, you are going for commercial softwares or proprietary software. Third, you are also going for the online GIS software. But you have some advantages and then disadvantage each and everything. Okay. After that only we will go for GIS customization with our experiences what we carried out in our center. Yeah, please. I think somebody is asking the question. Yeah. Any questions? Any questions?
Dear participant, if you have any
Yeah. Any questions? Yeah.
Okay.
Before I'm going to the next one, if you have any clarification, I try to answer. Probably, if already you are using the GIS, maybe very easy, or maybe the beginner mean you have to understand that. That's it. Okay. Yeah.
Sir, please repeat online GIS.
Online GIS. Yeah. That
Yes,
means
sir.
what? Online, you can able to go through, visualize. Okay. You can able to go through and then visualize. You can collect some of the data and then information, but you cannot able to modify. That's why the online GIS is coming. That means when, for example, NASA Worldwind, if you are it's the open source software, the aerial data or satellite data, everything available. Even Google Map you can consider. Google Map, whatever we are using, you can able to get the information out of that, but you cannot able to modify all the component in that. That's why the online GIS some disadvantages. But in the same way, accuracy point of view also we have to think about. All data you cannot able to put as an input into the whatever the Google Map or whatever may be the things. Okay, so online GIS is to visualize and preliminary analysis you can do. I am interested to go for urban change reduction analysis. That is possible in your GIS, but not exactly on the online. Okay, you have limitation, but you can use it, but you have limitations. Okay, yeah. Next question. Yeah, yeah. Next question. Anything? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sure. Anyway, I'll be sharing the PPT. I'm giving all the references which you can able to get the informations. Okay, I will give the link. I think somebody is asking about the link. Definitely, every slide that's why below that I have given. You can able to click. You will get all the informations out of that. Yeah, that is one thing. Yeah. Any other chat? Any message has come? Just I am seeing that. Yeah. Yeah. One question has come related to the link they are asking. Okay. So, yeah. Can I go to the next presentation? That
Yes,
is
sir.
the customization in GIS, or any other
Yes, sir.
question? Customization in GIS? Yeah. Yes.
Can you elaborate about?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Just a minute. Means, as I told you, it is with reference to the specific purpose. Okay. Not all the software he will be used for all purposes. As I told you, health informatics. Okay, health informatics related to medical related informations. Okay, the just I think you can see this slide. This one, right? It is an open source modeling program which is related to only water management and then ecology, right? So modeling, if you want to do it, then you can go for this one. That means what? It is developed by some people and then given as an open source. You can get the code along with that, right? You can able to modify specifically for water management and then ecology. Okay, similarly, that's why I'm telling all the open source software will not have all the functions. You can able to customize according to similarly, the Calypso is the modeling software in the open source specifically for water management and then ecology. Okay, is it clear? Okay. Yeah. Any other thing? Yeah. Any other question? Okay. Yeah.
One more
Okay.
question is that
Yeah. Please.
can you explain the difference between Google Earth and Google Earth Engine?
No. Actually, what will happen? The Google Earth is the overall related to all the information about the Google Earth, means related to the surface of the surface and subsurface. We cannot say surface only. We can say subsurface. Nobody can able to give the data. Surface related information which is created in the form of GIS database layers. Earlier, if you see that, maybe some 5 to 10 years before, you see it is only just to show only the 2 dimension. Now we are getting the 3rd dimension. That is very, very important. That is 3D visualization is possible in the Google Earth model. So I think screen presentation. I am not doing the screen presentation. I'll just explain you what is done. So, but you can able to customize if you are interested to go for collecting the data, do your analysis with other software, then you can able to adopt the data. That's why I told you the differences between the distance between the 2 points. Another thing, sometimes it may not be correct when you are working with the Google Maps, because accuracy is very, very important. But pure GIS, when you are working, what will happen? You require the good GCP. That is, GCP means ground control points. That is the latitude and longitude. You just cannot take it latitude and longitude in degrees and minutes. You will go up to the second levels. That is 60 seconds, right? That level, if you go, accuracy will be more in that. So you are using just a general Google engine when you are running. Any kind of information will be given to you. When you are going for Google Earth, related to Earth information on the surface, it will be clearly shown to you. That is the purpose of the Google Earth images. Even Google Earth Pro has come, but basically what has happened, all the data collected in the mapping and analysis of the data is incorporated in Google Maps, so that you can able to, the same way Wikipedia also, Mappedia. Probably some of you may be knowing our Indian remote sensing, ISRO has also developed Bhuvan, BHUVAN. Please go through that site, Bhuvan, bhuvan.nrsc.org, or Bhuvan, if you put it, you will get all information. Equivalent, whatever you are seeing, the Google Maps, you will get all information. That is the land use, land cover, urban, any kind of information is poured in the large scale. That's what I'm telling. Bhuvan is one of the very good resources for the data in your GIS analysis for our country. Bhuvan is a software. So the Google Earth means overall globally it will be showing. Every country is having its own way of giving the same information. Bhuvan is our one of the examples. Okay, so Google Earth is mainly for the information about the Earth surface features on that. Okay, mainly the geographical terms. Okay, so any other questions? Any other questions? Yeah.
Sir,
I have the second
sir,
component. Yeah,
okay.
please.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for your such a nice
Sure.
presentation. And my question
Yeah.
is regarding, can you explain more about the Map Maker Pro?
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, what is this one? It is the purpose of creating a maps. That means, as I told you, the specific application to forestry and then archaeology and the emergency services. The same telling, as I told you, I developed for my own seismic information system for Andaman. I just name like that Andaman Infosys. So what I am doing, I will create all the database in GIS, customized according to the seismicity of that particular area. But if for example I am sharing that information to you, you can able to replace that with reference to the seismology for other areas, so that you need not rewrite the code or anything. Similarly, here the Map Maker Pro is used to create the map specifically forestry, archaeology, and then emergency services. That is the way which you can able to use it. Okay, you can able to customize it. That's why next lecture, one small lecture I am giving you on this how I customized for the seismic information system. Okay, so this is the purpose actually. Okay, is it clear for you?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll be sharing. You can also go through in website also. In our website, it is there. You can publish some papers also. You can get it there. Okay. Any other question? So I have to go for customization in GIS. One more component. If yeah.
Sir, please elaborate about WebGIS.
Yeah, WebGIS. I am coming next. Yes. Your question I will be answering. Maybe next presentation we have WebGIS and then customized GIS. Now I'm going for that. Shall we go to the next component? May I go?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I will just go for so that the WebGIS and Internet GIS also I would like to cover, so that you will not. Yeah. Now I already shared the thing. Can you see this one? Development of GIS.
Yes, sir.
Are you able to see
Yes,
the
sir.
PPT?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
Yes, sir.
yes. Now you can see this. Whatever till now what we have covered. Different type of what are the modules available, softwares available, free and then commercial. Now we are going for customization of the softwares. What is the customization? First we have to understand. Only it's a computer-based program in .NET framework, or you can go for Java or whatever maybe. But purpose is what? To analyze the database for quick information retrieval and execution. What is meant by that? I am developing one, for example, flood model. I am developing for Chennai. Let us consider. So related to flood, all the information I customized only for flood information system. It's not like a general GIS software. I don't want. Instead of that one, only flood information system I want to develop. So for which what we are doing, we are processing through computer-based program in .NET or whatever the software which you are interested. Then analyze the database for quick information retrieval and executions. So that is the basic definition for the process of GIS customization. Sometimes you can ask the question, sir, I want to make in the linguistic base. Yes, you can able to do it. I already tried some part of Maharashtra. We have customized in Marathi language using the local people. We have customized everything in the Marathi language. That means what? It is GIS only. Background GIS will be one thing. Front end you are having a Marathi language, all the icons and then text, everything will be there. Then the process of GIS customization generally involves modification of a standard graphical user interface. See, you can ask the question, sir, everything is available in the GIS. Why I have to go for the customization? That means, according to my purpose, I am developing a GUI, graphical user interface for seismic study, landslide study, flood study, only for that application. So you are writing the code in a computer-based programming, maybe in the .NET or Java or whatever maybe, I can able to customize this. The third point, if you see that, the programming can be written in various languages. That's what I'm telling. It may be a Visual Basic or Visual C++ or Java or nowadays Python. Means whatever the available the code, we can able to coding in that language according to my objectives. So just now I have shown you Visual Basic, how we have used it for the purpose. Then the customization involved is a standard process in the GIS and the non-GIS application. That means you can able to develop your sophisticated tool. That's what I'm telling. Lot of nowadays you can see agri information system, water information, WAS, WGIS. Many things are coming out. How? Water information system means only they will deal with the water. That's enough. But background GIS only will be working. So it is easy to develop powerful and sophisticated tool. So the customization programming can be integrated in various GIS software to fulfill the requirement of your user need. That means you are the user. Now, again, I am coming back to whatever the RGIS you are using or quantum GIS you are using. My orientation is how to customize it. What are the steps involved in this? First one is you are creating a GIS database. Either you can use for quantum GIS or RGIS or GeoMedia or MapInfo, anything you can be able to use it. But here our interest is, after developing my GIS database, I am interested to customize it. So customization, as I told you, the definition already, you are using a computer programming. You can able to create your graphical user interface with background GIS will be working. Front end, what you are writing the code, it will be working. What all thing basically we require in that? Visual Studio, ArcObject, and then ArcGIS. That means what? ArcGIS is the software, that is a commercial software we are having. Visual Studio we may be having. ArcObject is the component in the ArcGIS. Using the Visual Studio, I can able to customize it. Simply we can say language, you can see that. It may be in English, you can able to go for Tamil language or any kind of the language. You click that, automatically in the interface it is changing. Similarly, according to my objective, my application development I am doing for customized tool development in ArcGIS. So you are developing the user interface, you are developing an application development, then you can create a toolbar. That means what? I can click only flood information system, FIS. It includes all related to flood informations, so that any user cannot be able to create a database. Already database available, it is customized according to the user need. User has to go click the button, take the data, analyze, and then go for your solutions or the decisions. So that is coming under development of customized information tool. Okay, so I think this flowchart is clear for you, na? This flowchart is clear. Are you able to see the flowchart customization process?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All of you can see, right? Right. The steps involved in GIS customization. Tomorrow, if you are interested, you can go for customization in the softwares which you are going to use it. Okay. So next is what? Yeah. Now, what you are doing, you can see that in the corner, you can see EQIS. Are you able to see that one? EQIS. Are you able to see that at least? EQIS, able to see in the corner? That is Earthquake Information System. Earthquake Information System which I developed only for a particular region. I will not go detail into the comments and other thing in this. Basically, we are using the ArcGIS, that is you are creating a database in a ArcGIS. Then you are using the Visual Basic is the you are developing the graphical user interface. You can see on the for you the left side is my project I have given. Okay, my project means what? EQIS, Earthquake Information System. I am creating a library. That is very, very important. How you are creating a library? On the basis of the comments. See, you are importing the database from the either ArcGIS or MapInfo or Quantum GIS, whatever may be. After that, I am interested to go for customizing the existing database according to my wish, so that in the background GIS will be working. Front end, I am using the programming language to visualize it. You can see that EQAISC command, then you are the form creation, then GIF files are there. All these things you can see when you see that your maybe your right side of the things, right? So you can able to create a base command using the normal Visual Studio. Now I'm going to the second slide. You can see what is the next one we are doing. EQIS toolbar I am creating. See, you cannot be able to see any GIS icon here, right? Only EQIS you can see. EQIS, if you click it, you will get all information. But background which is working, your ArcGIS or maybe whatever the open source software, if you are interested, you can also go for that one. make you understand what graphical user interface, how it helps. Okay, now you can see add item. You can see ArcMap user base 1, 2, 3, 4, all the database which already I call those things through my VB code. This is the second component. Now you can see this one. You able to understand this? After doing my coding, now the EQIS I am bringing to ArcGIS. You able to understand this one? You able to understand this? What I have carried out, again I'm telling you, you have one option is there to customize your database. I am creating earthquake information system. You have lot of options are there in custom ArcScan, Kogo, Cadastral Editor, many things are there. One more tool I added in this, that is very important. Maybe tomorrow, if you are interested, you can also go for maybe ArcGIS or Quantum GIS. You customize according to okay. Here, earthquake information system is the tool which I developed for understanding only earthquake information system. I will not go for any other thing. So the database background is working ArcGIS. Front end, it is the earthquake information system. That is the customization. That tool. Next, you can see that. The GUI, if you see, can you see this one? Are you able to see what I have given? Graphical user interface.
Yes,
I
sir.
have given the command. If you see that, what all the components are there in this? You can see this one. GUI, are you able to see? GUI, are you able to see that GUI developed? Because is there any difficulty in viewing? Just tell me so that I can able to enlarge it. My interest is the basic form, earthquake information system, basic form I have developed. Year basis, magnitude basis, hypo distance basis in the depth. Normally, why I am just taking the earthquake or flood is an example. Everybody, we are reading the newspapers and I think it is happening throughout the country. Whatever we are seeing that. So now what it does, background I created the database in the what you call map form or the non-spatial data. Front end I can see, I am interested to see the earthquake epicenter distributions. Now I am going to the next one. Are you able to see this now? Compilation and integration with ArcGIS. Tomorrow you are going for Quantum GIS also. How you can able to customize, that is very, very important. Okay, you can write the code and integration with your softwares. Are you able to see that ArcGIS 9.3 here? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, yeah, you can see that, right?
Yes, sir.
So ArcGIS 9.3 version only, I have used the old version. But before that, I developed all the coding in Visual Basic. Okay, then I am debugging. You are able to get the information related to earthquake in GIS now. So a person is not at all knowing any GIS also can click the button, he will get all informations. That means what? Taking the GIS to grassroots level. He does not require to know what is georeferencing, these, that. Because already the expert have created the database. The user has to click the button and then ask the question whatever he wants. Now, the first one, when you are doing, it shows state boundary, major location, drainage and transport. That's an example I am telling. See the next slide. Now, we are also having the execution of that button. So, EQIS, first step is what? Developing the tool. Second step is customize the tool. Third, you are developing earthquake information system. Fourth, you are adding to your ArcGIS or whatever the software which you are going to study. Next, you can see. Now you see here the entire database is developed using the normal Visual Studio. Now people are working ArcPy also, Python coding also you can able to do using the Arc. You can able to go for this. So now what you are getting, entire database non-spatial data now I am showing. Non-spatial data means in GIS it is a table data. For example, your college location is a spatial data. Name of the college is non-spatial data. Okay, the basic difference. It is maybe in Excel format or DBMS format or DBF format, whatever may be the thing. See how I divided my tool. See that earthquake information system is divided into many number of tools. One is geospatial information. Second is seismic micro vulnerability information. then analytical information, and then map informations. So a user has to do what? He has to click the button what he want. Now, thematic information means what? What is the geological condition or the landform? What kind of soil? I am interested to construct one building in a particular area. What is the specific earthquake disturbances in that area? I want to know. So directly from this database, the user can able to get the information. That means he does not require to go through entire GIS concepts and other thing. If the expert has properly prepared the database, he can click only the button in this, get the informations, right? So basically it is divided into geospatial information, seismic information, and then database, and then you can go for analysis. The screenshot will give you an information about what way it is helpful. Now I can see that. Same displaying the information using the customized tool. A person is coming, sir, I want to see which are all the epicenter. Yes, he can able to see that. See here what will happen, this state boundary, major location, drainage and transportation network only I want to see. But the background what? All the database is created and kept it ready. The user wants only state boundary, major location and drainages. So he can able to visualize that. It does not require a good knowledge about our ArcGIS also. That's why we are going for customized tool. Now you can see that what is the condition of the earthquake in that particular area on the basis of year. I want to see that. How many number of earthquake happened between 1964 to 74? You can see that immediately it is showing year, showing that which area earthquake occurred, it is showing. I am just showing one example of earthquake, but you can go for customizing any kind of information, flood disaster management, or what you call urban planning, urban sprawl, groundwater depletion. You can customize it. But here, this information will help you, right? Directly you click the button 64 to 74, which are all the earthquake, automatically it shows. Once again, I am going for the next tool. This is what I am getting. I am just seeing that which area continuously earthquake is coming that on the basis of the isoseismal line. Basically, as I told you, we are creating all the database in the GIS, customizing the tool in such a way which can able to get the information. Now, I am interested to see, hey, which area is more earthquake, more than 5.8, automatically it will show in the map form. Means already experts developed the GIS database, I am bringing according to my use. But somebody may be asking, sir, I want to see with the magnitude basis. Immediately you can go to the top button, magnitude in Richter scale, you can able to click the button, you will get the informations. So the information which you are developing, the user can easily access and then analyze the data. Now you can see, ask the question, sir, how many times the earthquake occurred between 1995 to 2004? You need not go to the database, please simply click the button 1994 to 2004, which are all the areas prone for earthquake already. I can able to easily get it. Now next one, you can see that, you able to understand now where the disturbances are more, I want to classify. I am going for a construction of the dam. So which may be area suitable or which area I have to avoid. So a planner or the decision maker not necessary to go through the entire GIS concepts. He has to see at least, sir, I am interested, the Richter scale should be very less than 2. So that area may be suitable for my construction of particular dams, reservoir, whatever you can see. So here you can able to click whatever the red color rectangle and square, I selected only these two, I am showing in the form of map. Like that you can go for the energy, pressure in that area, or whatever the information which you are creating, you can able to analyze the data without having creation of a database, right? Similarly, you can see this. Again, state boundary, geological condition, epicenter distribution. Which area is more prone for earthquake? That I am already doing there. Able to understand this one, the concept? Now.
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes, sir.
the tool, this I have shown you for the Sikkim area. Next level, I am going for an advanced tool for the Andaman. Again, see that? General information I am creating. Whatever you are seeing, the table data is a non-spatial data. In the previous one, I have shown you non-spatial separate, spatial separate. That means map is separate, data is separate. Now, I customize in such a way, map also I can see, data also I can able to see that. See that Andaman, whatever I am just showing that, boundary, epicenter, this just like, I'm just showing only few indexes. Okay. Similarly, you can see that Andaman boundary, epicenter data. What is the geological condition, favorable or not favorable? That I am just showing this, right? Okay. Some few more examples I want to highlight this in this. Okay. So the earthquake distribution spatially, spatial means, as I told you, location-wise information system. There should not be any confusion in this. Map also I can see, data also I can able to see that. Okay. These are all different comparison I want to make it. For example, flood area, I want to compare the slope and then flood. What you database you require? You should have the slope data, you should have a drainage data, then you should have the rainfall data. So if these three data, if you are available, if you customize it, when the rainfall come more than 10 centimeter, which area probably get affected, I can able to create a customized solution for the planners and then decision makers mainly. Okay, that's the purpose which we are going for the customized tool development. Okay, now just some more example. Just I want to see very high and high earthquake prone area where just it is showing this so that you can avoid going for some big construction or you have to go for seismic resistant structures. Okay, so there should not be any confusion. The purpose of doing the customization in GIS is for distribution of the various earth surface features according to your objective. You can able to analyze it, right? These are all the continuation of the same. Now somebody was this, you see here high seismic hazard prone area when compared to, see here what I am doing, I am just checking only the epicenter distribution, whether it is strong or very strong. I want to avoid such areas for construction. So by seeing this only, I can able to get the informations. Okay. Now I am going to the next one. See what is the advantages of this tool? It can able to display multiple layers in the GIS platform and using the same interface to compare with the other layers. Other layer means what? Layer in the concept in GIS is one map may be on drainage, another may be on transportation network, the third may be on the basis of your epicenter distribution, or flood means you should have the slope. If we landslide, if you want to study, what basically we require? Slope data we require, right? Drainage data we require, then elevation data you require, after that rainfall data you require. Along with that, soil condition of the data we require. So for example, tomorrow you are interested to develop, sir, I want to go for landslide information system for Ooty region or Kodaikanal, whatever maybe we can say. So what basically require? You have to create all the database, only whichever the data relevant to landslide only you call in the customized tool and do your analysis. That is the purpose we are going. So it is possible to display multiple layers in GIS platform using the same user interface and compare with the other layer. You can also, sir, same rainfall has occurred, only certain places only landslide occur. What is the reason for that? How I can able to assess? You should know what is the density of the rainfall. Second, what is the slope and then soil condition. Very, very important. If the area is highly rocky area, even very high rainfall comes, nothing will happen. But in the soil content is so loose soil, even little rain comes, immediately it is washing the entire area. And another question also, if you happen to see in the Himalayan terrain, which is so high altitude, more than 23,000 elevation, you see lot of landslide has occurred in the lower Himalayan range when compared to higher Himalayan side, because those are all very hard rocky areas. So what my interest is, when I am going for customized, you are developing the tool for the entire area. According to your objective, you only call those layers for your analysis. You may be working for slope failure. Other person can working for the soil conditions. A third person may be working for the assessment of landslides. Okay. So, but database is same. According to the user, you can able to customize and then you go for the solutions. Okay. So it is possible to display many number of layers in a GIS platform and the same user interface to compare with the other database layers. Next, the developer tool helps to understand the complex database very easily understandable form. See, I have shown you a table data, for example, 5,000 data I am showing to you, earthquake epicenter data. You cannot able to understand anything out of the data. Means all 5,000 data I cannot able to visualize and then do. What I am doing, location wise I sort out in the GIS, there is a non-spatial data. Then location you are giving the spatial data. I am integrating these two together. In the form of map I am showing, then you can tell, sir, 10 times the earthquake occurred in the same area. Okay, spatially very easy to understand in the form. That's why we are going for the customized tool development for a particular objective. The third is, it is a simple modification in the code. Any other related database can be analyzed. Very, very important. That's why I was again and again telling, somebody is talking about MacMe Pro, or somebody is talking Quantum GIS, somebody may be working the GRASS. You can work in a database you are created and bring it to this platform. Okay, you call the platform so that you can able to understand about the what way it is relevant to your objective, take the data and analyze it. So you can able to simplify the things. That's very important. So the customized tool can be used to analyze. I am talking about the seismology database. You can able to go for any kind. Sometimes you can ask the question, sir, is there any relationship between seismicity and landslide? Yes, if you study in the Himalayan terrain, seismically induced landslide is also there. There is no rainfall. Suddenly earthquake occurs, it is sliding down. So according to that area also, you can able to create a database, right? Next, I'm going for the next one. Yeah, yes. Now, somebody was asking about the WebGIS. Okay, so Quantum GIS based web application. So before going to that, is there any clarification related to the customized tool? Any clarification in that? Any clarification in this? Any clarification? How we have carried out the process of GIS customization? Any clarifications? Okay, so I will go to the next component of WebGIS, right, or internet-based GIS, whatever we can say that one. QGIS itself, we have also done it. Maybe tomorrow onwards you may be working in the practical way, so maybe you can able to interact and then you will get more information. So QGIS based web application. So why we are every time talking about a web application? Something is happening in the United States, you want to sit in your area and then you can go for analysis. Many number of the software nowadays customized for web-based information system development. How we have done it. Now WebGIS is what? It is the internet-based GIS application with distributed database information in one common platform. Hundreds of people can develop from different parts of the country. You can able to put together in the web. Whoever wants, they can able to analyze the data. So generally, the structure of the WebGIS, web application server and the client in terms of browsers. So somebody may be having the server in which all the database is stored. The client may be sitting here and then able to apply their knowledge and take the data to go for application. It may be a desktop based or it may be a mobile based applications. So the server generally generates a URL which helps to interact on the web. So you click that button, automatically it go. For example, I am sitting here and then talking. Just by means of a Google Meet link, I can able to interact with all of you. Now, same way, I want to interact in the form of GIS. You may be sitting somewhere, I will be sitting here. I am sharing the link of my database in the GIS. You can go through it, analyze the data, take the results or the decision making tool. Okay, so the server generally generates the URL with the help to interact in the web. The client obtains the HTTP, normally you know very well, the specifications from the web server to visualize the GIS component. Very, very important. So you can able to visualize the GIS component in your system. You are sitting somewhere, but I am generating the database frame here. I am sharing the information with you. You can take it if it is open source, then you can able to modify according to your wish. So this is coming under again WebGIS. Again, this is the what we have carried out. It is the software integration of the Quantum GIS with the database which you are creating. Then you are going for design and deploy of customized tool. Finally, you are going for visualization of the database. So you are finally ending with the HTML file. After that, you are going for the web platform which you are going to analyze. This is, please check with this. Maybe you may be using tomorrow. I used that Quantum GIS 2.1.6 which you are used. You have the option for customizing. You are already created a database in Quantum GIS or you go for ArcGIS. You can bring it to this platform, export to an open layer. Just I am showing that raster terrain analysis plugin. Understand? You can see that. After that, what I am doing, I am customizing for one of the area. See, this side your map, another is you have the database. Okay, the web mapping and the tool designed for again the same way Andaman seismic information system, or we can also go for the Sikkim. Some part of the Sikkim we are working. That is also just I am seeing. See in the database, least intensity, weak intensity. That means very strong earthquake, all these things we are showing. The tool which we are developed in this, any part, this link I am sending to you, you can able to develop. See the name of the tool. Are you able to see the name of the tool I have given? SHATISTA. The tool, or I can say that I have developed the tool SHA-TISTA, Seismic Hazard Assessment Tool of Tista River. So I am customizing like that Mac Pro or Mac Mapper Pro like that. SHA-TISTA is our software which we are customized for this application. That web-based, I can give it to Sikkim people so that they are able to use the data. The tool name is SHA-TISTA. That is the call. You can also develop your own way of generating the database. So you are exporting the database to the web platform. When I am giving that link, you can able to access the database. So exporting the database to the platform. Okay. These are all the coding. Maybe if the time permits, maybe your Quantum JS classes, you try to explore how the open source software can be helpful in creating a vector data display. See, this I'm just showing a sample code coding for vector data display. Maybe vector data morning, I think you are one of the resource person might have discussed. That is, vector means you are representing the feature on the base of point, line, and then polygon. As I told you, point may be a location, maybe the road junction or a location of the temple or whatever may be. Road means line feature. Polyline means many number of roads. Polygon means area. So now I am just showing you here one example. That means coding for how to display the vector data. Okay. After that, you are going for feature data generation. I can create a geology, geomorphology, soil, slope, any kind of feature which I am interested to develop. I can create a database generation tools. Okay. You can see in the QGIS2 web. Okay. You can able to see that I highlighted that. Okay. Now another tool which you are developing for coding for the style of the data, how your database should look like. You can go for linguistic based also. You can go for icon based. For example, hand pump. You can able to put the hand pump in the form of icon, not a HANDAPUMP, not necessary. Just give the icon so that any user can able to click and understand. You don't require a big GIS knowledge to use that. So that's why we are going for customized tool. In the WebGIS, any part of the globe I can able to create and then give. See, I am just given. If you, this is a local server, I have kept it. Okay, if you click the button, it will give all information related to that particular area. So this HTML file I am creating in the web platform using the open source, right? When I am going and giving to the planner and executor, automatically this link is sufficient for that person to understand about that area. It does not require to create any kind of database, right? So this is one of the example I am showing. Same way, visualization of geospatial database using the seismotectonic information or earthquake information system. Okay, you able to understand this? Again, the same way, I am interested to know about which area is prone for more earthquake. I want to just study for the tectonic significance. So maybe a geologist may be interested in this. Another person may be interested in construction related activity. He will tell, sir, which is very high prone area I want to avoid. He can able to use the same tool like this. Again, you can see drainage character, so that any landslide occur or the any high rainfall come, which direction that should be advanced. This is just the experimental stage we already carried out. Still the research is going on for the seismicity and landslide for these areas. Okay, right? So this is another tool developed. That means all these things you can able to customize using your programming language. Then you can able to create this. So the WebGIS is most commonly used function which can able to map, visualize and query. So mapping means what? You can able to create a database. After creating database, you can able to visualize, either it is a 2D or 3D, you can able to create. After that, what I am interested to ask the query, sir, which area site is suitable for my construction of a dam or construction of a reservoir? Then it is a query. So the data analysis results are usually in the form of spatial as well as non-spatial form. I can show in the map form as well as I can show in the non-spatial form, that is the table data. So generally it stores huge number of database in the server and can display the database which you require. Okay. So this can be used by the user who can access WebGIS application from the home container. Even you can go for cell phone, you can able to use. If I am sending the link, you can able to click automatically, you will get. But huge amount of manpower working behind that is required. Once you have completed the database creation, that it will be very easy. One click, you will get all information. So in general, the traditional desktop is used by one user at a time. But in a WebGIS, that is an advantage. Any part of the globe, hundreds of people simultaneously, he can able to access the database. Okay. So it has the web browser, normally Internet Explorer, Mozilla, Firefox, or Google Chrome, anything you can able to use it for this. So multi-user can access at any time. That is one advantage. Very easy to use by the end user, even he is not knowing a good GIS or anything. Normally, he can able to see the button and click, he will get all information. Then it can also produce diverse applications. That means I told you only WebGIS, but you can go for any kind of informations. Okay, right. With this, I would like to conclude the WebGIS or Internet GIS and customization in GIS component. Okay. Now we can go for the questions. Any questions are there? I would like to happy to answer. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Any questions? Any questions? Yeah. Anyway, I'll be sending the PPTs and other thing, my published paper also to the organizer. Then you can able to circulate, because I was not doing all your email ID. I will just give you the email ID of mine. I will just type it so that you can understand. One more slide, I can able to do it. I'll just type it. Okay. Yeah. My email ID already available with the organizer. You can also collect it. Otherwise, SRM IST site, you can just go through. You will get all information. I have seen some of the queries has come related to the sharing of the PPT. Definitely will do. There is no issue on that. Definitely will do. Okay. Right. Any other questions? Yeah.
So please repeat the portion of road in polyline, polygon in QGIS portion.
Yeah.
In the programming session, please repeat on this slide again.
Which one? Can you please repeat the question?
In QGIS programming session.
Yeah.
Programming.
Yes. Yeah. You want that programming section? You want to once again highlight? Yeah. Yeah. Just first you go through first one. What is the way which we have worked? I'll just show you. I already shared this one. Can you see this one? Can you see this one?
No,
QGIS to web. It is there. Can you see this? Next. Can you see this now?
Sir,
That means what I have done it, I'll just show you. In the corner, you can see that QGIS 2.116.0 Statista, like that I developed a tool. That is, I customized the tool for seismic information system for Sikkim. That is Tista Valley. I developed these database. We are creating either in Quantum GIS or RGIS. I am bringing that to the platform. That means the coding which I am writing, you can see that exporting libraries, exporting lawyers is the boundary. Whatever the database I am creating, I am bringing everything to where? In a Quantum GIS platform which I am developed. Okay. After that, what I am doing, this is the coding component. Okay. This is the coding how we have done it. Which map you want to go for? You can go collect all the information to the database. See, here I am talking about the vector data display. That's why I told you vector means point, line, polyline, and polygon are the vector database. I can represent a road by means of line. You can see that. You can read it. Layer list dot length, pop layer length. Okay, understand? That means what? Automatically it is a line feature I am calling, for which you are writing the code. Understand? After that, we are going for same way coding, but that's what I'm telling you. I am just showing only 2 slides on the coding.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, lot of things you have to do for coding. Each and every map you have to call. That's called. It is a layer. See that I'm just showing for k in layer.get field images colon. Understand? This is the coding component which you are developing. Where from the customized tool which you are developing. After that, what I am doing? Once my coding and debugging I have done it, I removed all the error means. After that, I need not worry. This link will come. Click the button, automatically it will show the map as well as it will show the database. That means non-spatial database as well as spatial database. Okay, now I am giving you this side you have the legend, this side you are on the this one. The first one which I have shown you, the WebGIS before that which I have shown you, customized GIS tool, I can show separately your non-spatial and spatial data. Here, this is the advantages. Only thing, the coding component is very, very important for that. Maybe 1 or 2 times you will get error. After that, you can able to rectify that. Okay. By means of practice, you can also do it. Maybe in the future, you can able to take up this. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Clear?
Thank you. Thank you,
Is
sir.
it clear? Okay.
Yes,
then.
sir.
Next. Any other question, please?
Sir, am I audible, sir?
Yeah. Please. Yeah.
Sir,
Yeah.
how will write the codes? Okay. How will in future if I prepare the map? Okay. If I will prepare a map for a Sikkim or West Bengal. Okay.
Clear. Not clear. Clear. Please. Yeah.
How will
Actually, see,
write the
I have
codes?
told you, Visual Basic I have used when I am using for the RGIS. Okay. When I am
Okay.
coming to the
Okay,
Quantum GIS, when I am going for the Quantum GIS,
Okay.
again I am customizing according to the coding already available, or I am generating my own code. If you happen to, I'll just show you that one slide. For here, what we are doing in our the customized GIS, when we are going, you see the steps which we are involving Visual Studio, Arc Object, and then RGS. Okay. But when I am going for Quantum GIS, because RGS is a commercial software, I cannot able to afford. For example, in that case, what I am doing, I am going for Quantum GIS, which is open source software, which the code is applicable as a flowchart. If you happen to see, you are having Quantum GIS2 web plugin is there, through which you can able to write the code to call. How to call a layer? For example, call the dot layer dot dash. For example, line. That means I am calling the road. Like that, you have to give. You can able to give, open the shape file, and then how you have to name the file. All these things should be, first you create a flow chart. Okay. After creating a flow chart, then you go for the step-by-step coding. 1 or 2 only I have given the sample for coding. But I am telling you, after doing coding, you will get error. Debugging, when you are doing, you will get an error, then you can able to remove and then execute it. So just I have given only 2 slides on the coding component. Mostly you are having already the Quantum GIS website. If you go, lot of informations are available related to coding also. Okay. Is there any clarification? Then you can able to contact us. This is not a problem. Okay. Because it is very
Thank
short
you,
period,
sir.
everything we are
Thank you,
giving
sir.
more.
Thank you.
So it may be sometimes confusing you. Only thing you have to understand about open source software you are using, cost is very less. Only manpower you have to use more. You should have a good teamwork, and then you can do wonder in that one. Okay. Right. Any other questions? Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah. Any other questions? So my email ID is with the organizers. You can able to take it and then just send me a mail. If you have any clarifications on it, you can very well contact us. That's not a problem. Okay. Right. If you go to the website itself, you can see that
very clear
what are the
about
project
your
work that we are
presentation,
doing. Okay. Any other question, please?
Sir, I think all are very clear about your presentation, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Shall we close the meeting?
Yeah. If there is no questions or anything, you can just tell so that we can able to close this one. So.
Dear participants,
Hello?
if you have any questions, you just ask.
Any question, please ask, so that yeah. Actually, means after understanding your basics of all the JS component, maybe you can very well appreciate this how you are going to work, because nowadays you require programmers in GIS, right? Not just using the software. Anybody can use the software now, but how to customize is very, very important. In which open source software, if you are very strong, it will be good for everybody. Okay, so that you need not spend money for these things. Okay, right? Yeah. Any other question, please? Yeah. Go through our website also. Yeah.
Only we are receiving a very good feedback on your presentation, sir.
Thank you very much. We are there
Great
always to help
presentation,
the
yes.
people. Yeah, sure, definitely. You can share my email ID to all of them. Already you are communication, so that we can
Okay,
have
sir.
discussions in that. Actually, maybe if they are
Okay,
coming
sir.
in the Chennai or in this side, they can also visit our lab for if you are interested to learn more on this. That is also a
Sure,
thing,
sir,
right?
sure, sir.
Okay then.
Okay, sir.
So any other questions, or we can able to close this? Yeah, I think.
Rekha ma'am,
Yeah.
Sir, one more question is there.
Yeah, please.
Sir, how we put any data in QGIS software?
Yeah, maybe I think tomorrow, I think Dr. Karupasamy will be covering. That is also, you are creating a database also you can do in the Quantum JS. That's why I given you two examples. One is RJS, how I created and bring it. Second is the same data also I can bring to Quantum JS also. Only thing, the platform, which platform you are using, that is very, very important. But in the Quantum JS, you have the option of vectorization, rasterization, all the digitization, every components are there. Right, you can able to create in QGIS also, or already you create in RGS, try to bring that to Quantum JS. So that is a digitization process actually. That you can able to do it. There's not any difficulty in that. Okay, yeah. So any other questions? Yeah, somebody is asking. Yes, you can able to customize using the Quantum JS. That's why I given the explanation just now. You can do it customization in Quantum JS. Very important actually. Yeah. I have seen one in the chat on questions. We have, yeah. I'm just seeing that all the chat actually. Yeah. Somebody is asking Quantum JS. Yes, you can able to use it. Yeah. You can able to use Quantum JS. Try to practice and try to customize. You can take your own area. Small analysis. You started working on that. You feel very happy after seeing the results. Then automatically you can go to circulate to other people also. Okay, any kind of the problem you can. I just shown you only seismicity. We are working for landslide and other thing, right? Yeah, somebody was asking. Yeah, yeah, you can able to use it. I have seen in the chat box. Somebody is asking. Yes, Quantum JS you can use it for customization. RGS you can use it for customization. Okay, maybe some other lectures. I think they may be dealing with more on GIS angle. Okay, so any other questions? Any other questions? Any other questions?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Sir, present time I know JS is very important, but how do in future JS scope?
The same time, everywhere GIS is there. Very simple answer I can say. When you are taking your mobile, GIS is playing. You know, remote sensing data is there. GIS is data is there. Correct? GPS data is there.
Yes, sir.
Understand? Because when you are moving in the car, automatically how it calculates the length of the road you have traveled, distance, on the basis of the GPS. It is plotted in the GIS. Okay, na? Basic database already you are having the map from the Google Earth. That is from the satellite data. Okay. So any part of the globe, if you go, any field you can say the GIS is playing a major role on that. So that is the very important thing we can see. So and again what? It is not restricted only geography, geology, something like that. Any field you put, GIS is there in the role. Probably you can see school level it has come now GIS. Probably you can see that one of the paper we have already published with UNESCO, UNDP, taking GIS to grassroots level. You go through that one. School children were taught GIS to create their own database of their own villages. That is in the Maharashtra. I told you one example. We customize that in the Marathi language. Okay. So that is the way GIS is going to that level. It is having lot of potential. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So any please.
Present time many software is included types of ArcGIS, ArcPro, and QGIS and MicroStation and lots of
AutoCAD
GIS software.
Yes.
Present.
Yeah.
Hello. Sorry. You listen.
Yeah. Please tell. Yeah. Please tell me. Yeah. I can listen. Yeah.
Sir, present time many lots of software is using it in GIS field, na?
Yes, lot of the same telling. Nowadays people started moving towards open source software. Earlier we used to have only commercial software when we are learning our MTech side or PhD time. Nowadays you are customized the software. That's it. Very simple, right? So only thing you should have a good programming knowledge. You can able to customize easily. That's it. So only thing you have to get into that, right? So you can really enjoy after doing your what do you call the customized tool development. After that you are doing analysis, and you'll be happy to see the results. Okay. Yeah, maybe initially it may be little difficult for programming, then it will be easy for you. Okay, you try to incorporate actually. Oh, right. So yeah, any other question, please? Yeah,
we
please.
Use Python programming in
Python.
ArcGIS,
No? Arc. Yes, ArcPy. One paper recently we published in IEEE. Please go through my website. It is there. That paper is already available. Go through that flowchart already I given. You can also execute. That is ArcPy. Okay, Python. Now, Python you are customizing in ArcGIS. You can use it, no doubt about it. Yeah, excellent. This you'll get the output. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Right. Any other questions,
sir.
please? Yeah. Any other questions? Any other questions? Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I think, yeah, Professor Kannan, can I just wind up the things? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Please.
Yes, sir. We will wind up.
Yeah.
Rekha ma'am, please go ahead.
Okay, sir. I thank you, sir, for giving valuable information about this and this customization. I think it is very useful for us, and I hope it will help for guiding our students' project also. And I thank all participants. And I thank all participants for your kind cooperation. Thank you, sir. Thank you all, one and all.
Yeah, thank you very much again. I will just to tell Dr. Kannan and his organization and also the organizers for giving the opportunity to a lot of people are sharing their views and other things to discussions. Anything you just related to the technical angle, you can very well contact through the mail. www.srmist.edu.in is our website. In civil department, Siva Kumar, you can just check it. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, one and all. Thank you, one and all. Okay. Thank you.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Thank you, one and all. Thank you very much. Okay. Right.